Okay, Coach, on a wonderful fall afternoon in the state of Texas, the roof is open, and we've got football from NRG Stadium in Houston. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line.
The Texans take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Jackson on first down. Oh, he's going to air it out right away. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on first down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one good for 26 and a first down.
And that was a nice, strong run by the guy they call the field general.
First down. First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Mark 55. What's up?
From midfield now, here's Jackson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line.
And he cuts it right in it. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Gonzalez able to tack on the PAT. And that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. From the gun, Mariota. Open man is Cameron Batson. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain at 21 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. So 2 plays with only negative yardage to show, and now it's 3rd and 16. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. Incomplete. Both players were there offensively and defensively, but it falls incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Boston Scott, his first carry. And he'll go out of bounds after getting this across the 15. They were looking for a cushion from that end zone. He gave it to him. 15 big yards.
Sometimes you get just a little over-eager defensively when you've got people backed up because the mentality is to attack, take the ball away, or at worst, just keep them backed up there for your own offense. They actually used their aggressiveness against them on that one and hit them big.
Absolutely. Had him pinned on the 2. Not anymore.
Mike, go. Right there in the middle. 55. Bring it.
Mike, 55.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson.
Here we go.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Harold Landry in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Mike. Watch Mike. I got you, son. I got you.
Jackson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
No. Check.
On third down, Jackson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they finally take him down, but not before he reaches the 43. A huge play there for Houston. 41 yards.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Now a give right side. It's Scott. They had the huge play last time. Here it is a much smaller gain of 2.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds.
Check 31.
From the 41, Jackson. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. It was a safety, Kevin Byard, that time, who was able to knock it away.
Quick hands that time to knock that one away. It sure looked like a short touchdown, but able to get a good break on the football and force the incompletion.
The line to gain is the 33 on third down.
Tackles. 55's Mike. I got you, son.
Mike, 55.
From the gun, Jackson. Comes back with one complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Titans' 24-yard line.
That's good for the Texans. First down. First and 10 at the 24-yard line.
55. Check. 55. Mike.
Watch twist. Check. 55.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. That's going to be caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Gonzalez good on the extra point. And that'll make the score 14-0.
Texans 14. Titans nothing.
Now after the touchdown, here's Gonzalez on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now, Titans in possession of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 4 coming up. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
That's the way. 41 right.
Now Mariota. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long.
Let him know. One. Shit. Watch the shit. 41.
From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Here's Brett Kern now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Pulled in at the 24. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
A well-executed 22-yard gain.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
He'll get the first down and more inside the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Jackson on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Texans push further out in front.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strike ability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
This will be taken very short. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play.
And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Well called, well blocked, and then he just made a great play. That was an athlete going a long way.
Yeah, how about the suddenness to it? Just getting there and taking off and going. For the defensive guys, plays like that really hurt.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Fuller. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Jarrell Casey make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away.
The Titans take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And coming off a 1-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevon Seymour. Room here to run. And he'll take it across midfield to the 46-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
At the 40-yard line.
Here we go again.
This time, Jackson will throw it. He's got Fuller. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
14 yards. That's good for a Texans first down.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
That'll hurt the average a bit, as this time they're able to get him behind the line. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming. The Texans on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Jackson. He'll have a first down inside the 10. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Zach Ertz, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was the prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
This will be taken short. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
At their own 28-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
From the 31, Mariota under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Mariota will need a big play after the sack as the Titans come up 3rd and long. Mariota. He'll get this complete to Batson. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts, as the stoppage will come with 23 seconds to go till halftime. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! At their own 11-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what...
Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by the former first-rounder Jimmy Ward. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right, take the knee, get out of here, regroup. But how will the head coach and his staff approach halftime? Will it be angry? Will it be clinical? Will they be calm? Will they just let it all out? Who knows? I'm going to be a fly on the wall for this one, though.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. Right back to him on first down. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This will be taken very short.
The Titans take over first and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
The Titans offense set to begin the drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for him. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a third down. Here's Mariota. And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
I think we've seen this before. Someone's down 3 scores. That situation there, it's just going to add to their growing frustrations, don't you think?
Yeah, a bad number 3 right now. 3-score game, third quarter, 3 and out, not what they wanted. And you can tell on the sideline, those faces are getting a little bit longer as this one goes. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense, we've got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
A gain there of 30 big ones.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the big play gets him across midfield now for first and 10.
Hey, 4 down. Kill.
Jackson. Throwing the out route and complete. It's Hopkins. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. From the 34 now, here's first and 10.
What we got?
Now Scott. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down.
36-yard line.
Back two's the Mike. Mike back two. Go. He can't hang. He's not going to get me. Hey, Mike 52. Go. 52.
Now on second and 13. Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Hopkins. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. What a game it's been for this duo.
They remind me of a good comedy team. They know how to play off of each other so well. No matter how one riffs, the other's right there to pick them up, and they are shredding them in this ball game.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's first and goal just outside the 5. is in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Jackson scoring on the keeper from 6 yards out. And the Texans push further out in front. The quarterback run has eaten him up all game long, and there he goes again, this time into the end zone.
And what I like about what I'm seeing, absolutely running almost with impunity. He's not worried about his body. He's not worried about sliding. He's not worried about protecting himself. He's worried about getting yardage. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, you've got to start figuring out what these blocking schemes are and finding ways to defeat them.
This will be taken short.
Let's go! At their own 31-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Mariota now. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Whitney Merciless barreling in for the sack.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of pop.
Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
It's been a tough one all game long for this offensive line. They're already down big, and now you know they're just going to come after the quarterback in a big way, don't you?
Yeah, they just can't get out of their own way right now. It's created an avalanche, and an avalanche is coming right on top of it. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Looking around the league from Raymond James Stadium, they're in the 3rd quarter in Tampa. And now that one really widening up. The Bucs have just scored again. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. It's complete on the bubble screen. That's Fuller. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Well, where do you find that one in the playbook, Charles?
You don't. You absolutely don't. And sometimes what happens is guys want to make a big play, and they turn it into a really bad one. Sometimes you're best just to cut your losses and go down. I hope we don't see another play like that. I'll guarantee you the offensive coordinator, he's going to get his play sheet. He can't find it either.
Yeah, big loss there on the pass completion. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards. Jackson now 14 out of 17, 82%. And it's 1st and 10. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Fuller. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
From the gun, it's Jackson. He's letting this one go for Fuller. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field. Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Now Mariota.
And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Throwing, Mariota, and that will be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 31-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? The best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now.
I'm going to run you over. I'm going to run you over. Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike. Watch the run. Watch the run. Go.
Now Jackson on first down. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. A gain of 6 there on first. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Play action. It's Jackson. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Jackson now. And he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up fourth down.
It's fourth down.
And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on fourth. They'll try and throw for it with Jackson. And a catch made by Hopkins. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 21 yards there. A big play on fourth down.
Texans, first down. First and 10 at the 18-yard line.
Come on, set. Go to base. Check 55, Mike. Yeah, Jim. You don't want none. Set.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you've got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone that's the same agility
And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Lamar Jackson scoring on the keeper from 6 yards out as his guys continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown, his 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Titans offense set to begin the drive. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Green. Mike Daniels makes the tackle.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
He's coming, he's coming.
On 3rd down, Green. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
In your face.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy.
Heavy, what you got? Charlie? What you got, Heavy? Give me some. Give me some.
The Titans go. It's Mariota under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Texans take over an excellent field position.
I got you. I got you.
Runs through the contact. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is 2nd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. He can run for it, and he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going, but it's not just their own confidence. We've got no shot to beat this team.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that, and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team, and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield.
Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 39-yard line.
A big